When Pastor James asked for volunteers, do you remember what was going through your mind at the time?
Well, when Pastor James asked for volunteers, what was going through my mind is why couldn't I be the volunteer? Because I turned around and I looked and I didn't see people standing up to volunteer, and I just said, well, since I've been volunteering, let me just get to it and see what it is.
When you found out what you had volunteered for, what was your initial reaction?
My initial reaction was actually that it was a coincidence because it fell into the line of the project that I'm currently carrying out now in Cameroon, whereby through the Woodbury Club of the Rotary Club of Woodbury, we are distributing over 40,000 textbooks and some computers to native schools in Cameroon. And so, this just fitted into this kind of a project to help people help themselves. And, I just glorified it. I liked it to the point my mother asked me, well, I've always volunteered, so this is another opportunity.
After you had some time to pray about the opportunity you were given, did your feelings about volunteering change?
Well, my feelings did not change, but they kind of intensified because if Pastor James asked for volunteers and I opted to volunteer without knowing what the volunteerism was going to entail, and it came up to be a project, then I just continued to pray that my feelings intensify to create an impact, at least to change a life.
Okay, explain what your idea for your project was.
As I mentioned earlier about the project we are carrying out in Cameroon, our slogan is, when you want to help somebody, or if you want to help people, you should rather teach them how to fish and not give them fish. And this should be done right from the onset in life. And that is the reason why I decided to take my project to the early childhood school at the Battle Creek in St. Paul. And this was an idea that was related to what I'm doing now. So we thought of how sustainable our project could be, just like Pastor James, I quite remember the preaching on that day about, where Jesus Christ gave money, they gave money to servants, and then they kind of, some of them kept in the bank and it yielded interest and so. I was just thinking in my mind, what would I do to gain some sustainability? So I thought of education, which is the field with which our project is involved in now. And we went and bought some school supplies and handed to the kids who are still learning how to belong and how to stay together.
You answered this a little bit, but if you want to expound, what were the reasons you felt this was the project you were supposed to do?
I felt this was the project I was supposed to do because I have always been looking for an opportunity to change one or two lives. And starting with the situation I grew up in, and starting with the situation I've seen others go through, for us to create a change, we don't want the same situation to always repeat itself. So I've always been wanting to change a life, and I thought that, and even going back to the Bible, when Jesus Christ said, let the little ones come to me, for those who will see the kingdom of God, are the ones like this. So I just thought of going and creating that impact from the preliminary stage in life, and that's why I went to the early childhood school.
Okay. Can you share the process that you went through in starting the project, state those who helped you, and how the process made you understand your ability to make a difference?
I really appreciate my wife, Patricia, because she was like the lead when we had this opportunity, I just told her that I have been engaged in Cameroon every day in coordinating the project back there, and this was to be her turn. So she did a lot of coordination, and she arranged for everything. We went and bought everything together, and just to be more clear, we bought books for about $69, and then there were some very little supplies that they needed that we couldn't buy from the store, so we had to give them that money. And this was through my wife Patricia, who gave me the idea, because she was from that early childhood education. So, and when I look at this process, I was really thinking that in order to be able to change the lives of many, it's always good to involve others. So involving my wife and the teachers in that school to whom we went and presented the project was very, very good, and it made the project so successful.
What are ways you would encourage others to step out and do their own Mission Possible project?
I would encourage everyone to be a volunteer. It suffices to volunteer, because there is nothing as strong as the heart of a volunteer. I will say this. And one should not be thinking that you will ever have a lot before you can help somebody. Even your word, a word or a little token or anything can help. But the first thing is you should be willing to create a change, or you're willing to make a change or to change a life, and you will go from there.